Hey, hi, and welcome back. I hope that you are enjoying this topic. So in this video, I'm going to show you the practical demonstration of preset section. And as always, I'm going to discuss the testing and troubleshooting technique associated with that particular section. Okay, so now let's start with this video. So now let me tell you what you're going to learn in this video. So as always, first of all, I'm going to show you the practical demonstration of a preset section. And you already know how we are going to cover this particular point, practical demonstration. So first of all, we will cover the flow of code. So I will explain you how exactly the code is written. And later we will program that particular code in the microcontroller. And we will see whether the preset section is working properly or not. Okay. So that's all about the practical demonstration, and after that we will discuss the testing and troubleshooting techniques associated with the preset section, and later I will discuss the mistakes that you should avoid while dealing with the preset section. Okay, so that's how basically we are going to cover this video, and I'm sure you will definitely enjoy this video. Okay, so now let's start with the sub point of practical demonstration, which is program flow. So now let me show you the flow of code that we are going to program in the controller. So as always, first of all, as soon as the power is provided to the system, the controller will start. And after that, read the port C 0th pin. So this time we are actually going to read the 0th pin of port C, which is PC0. You already know that we have connected the preset to the PC0 pin. After that, the next point is process the data read from PC0 to calculate the voltage. So controller is actually going to process the data which it read from PC0. It's because this time the data is going to be the analog data, and controller is going to process that data, and after that it's going to calculate the amount of voltage which is available at the center pin of the preset, or which is available on the PC0. Okay. So once that is done, then next point is send the voltage reading to terminal window. So whatever voltage reading controller will get, it's going to send that reading on the terminal window on the computer. So basically whatever voltage controller is going to read from the potentiometer, it's going to send that data or that that voltage on the terminal window, and we will be able to see that data on the terminal window. Okay, so that's how simple this particular code is. Now let's program this code in the controller, and let me show you the practical demonstration. Alright, so now let's program the code in the controller, and let's test whether this preset section is working properly or not. Okay, so for that, let's go to the Arduino IDE, and this is basically the code that we are going to program in the controller. So you can explore this particular code, and now let me program this code in the controller. So it's compiling right now, and yeah. So it's uploading the code now. Alright, so the code is now uploaded in the controller. Now let's go to the terminal window and let's check whether the controller is sending the data on the terminal window or not. Okay, so I will go to the terminal window now. So this is basically the serial terminal option, and we should get some data. So you can see we are actually getting the analog voltage, and this voltage that we are getting on the terminal, it's basically the voltage at the center point of this preset. Okay, so if you measure the voltage at the center point, then you are going to get the same voltage. Okay, so let's verify that with the help of this multimeter. So let me connect the positive terminal of the multimeter on the center point, and you can see we are getting 1.35 volt on the multimeter. So that's basically the voltage on the center point of this preset. Okay, and we are actually getting the approx same voltage on the you can see on the terminal 1.347. Okay, so it's almost 1.35 volt. Okay, so the reading that we are getting, you can see there are actually multiple digits after there are actually multiple digits after the decimal point, and here we are actually just getting two digits after the decimal point. So this multimeter has actually rounded up the second digit because the third digit is 7 in this reading. Okay, so that's why it's showing 1.35 on the multimeter. So with this, we have tested this preset section, and this preset section is working perfectly fine. Now let's try to rotate this particular knob, and let's check whether the voltage reading that we are getting on the terminal, it's changing or not. Okay, so now I will rotate this knob and let's see the reading that we are getting on the terminal. So at this moment the reading that we are getting, it's 1.34. so I'm just going to rotate this preset in clockwise direction. So you can see the voltage is actually increasing on the terminal. Okay, in real-time application, instead of this preset, there will be some sensor which will be connected externally to the microcontroller, and it's going to send the analog voltage reading, between 0 to 5 volt. So you can consider this preset as a simulator, and with this preset, we are actually able to test with the analog section of this controller. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate this preset in clockwise direction, and you can see the reading on the terminal window, it's actually increasing if I am rotating it in clockwise direction. And if I rotate this knob in anti-clockwise direction, so if I rotate it in anti-clockwise direction, then you can see on the terminal the reading is actually decreasing. Okay, so with that, we have tested this preset section, and we are concluding that this preset section is working perfectly fine and there is no issue with this preset section. Okay, now let's talk about the testing and troubleshooting technique associated with this preset section. So if the preset section is not working, then the first and most important thing that you have to do is you have to check the voltage on the center point, which we already did. So you have to check the voltage on center point, and you have to rotate this particular knob, and you have to verify whether with the help of multimeter, whether voltage on the center pin is working, it's changing or not. So if it is not changing, it means that either this preset is not powered properly or this preset is not soldered properly. So you have to check the first pin, and you have to connect the positive terminal of the multimeter on the first pin, and you have to check whether the plus 5 volt is available or not with respect to the third pin of this preset. And if the plus 5 volt is available, it means that there is a problem with this preset, and you will have to change this particular preset, because even after providing the supply to this preset, it's not generating the voltage on the center point. It means that there is a problem with this preset, and you will have to replace this preset. So that's how basically you have to do the testing and troubleshooting. Okay, then the second point is, if you are not getting the voltage on the center point, then it might happen that the center point might be connected to the ground pin. So you have to physically check the PCB, or you have to do the visual inspection whether it's connected to the ground by mistake or not. So because that could be the reason why you will get 0 volt on the center point, or why you will not get the expected reading on the center point. Okay, so that's how basically you have to do the testing and troubleshooting. You just have to check the voltage on center point, and also you have to check whether the preset is properly soldered or not, and also you have to check whether the plus 5 volt or the supply voltage is available on the first terminal of this preset with respect to the third pin of this preset. Okay, so that's how basically you have to do the testing and troubleshooting in case of preset section. And after that, the mistake that you should avoid when you deal with the preset is, when you solder the preset on the PCB, before soldering the preset on the PCB, you have to externally check whether the preset is working properly or not. I mean, you have to externally, check with the help of multimeter whether the resistance of the preset is varying or not. Because sometimes it happens, you may receive the damaged preset. You can actually avoid this kind of situation, instead of directly soldering this preset on the PCB, you can actually test the preset externally, and later, once you are sure that the preset is working perfectly fine, later you can take the decision and you can actually solder the preset on the PCB. Okay, so this was basically the only mistake that you should avoid when you deal with the preset section. Okay, alright, so that's what I wanted to tell in this video. I hope that every single thing that we discussed is now clear to you. I showed you the practical demonstration of this preset section. Then we did the testing and troubleshooting of this preset section. And also I shared the mistake that you should avoid when you deal with the preset section. Okay. Alright, so now I will see you in the next video, which is about testing 7 segment display section. Okay, so I will see you in the next video now.